Hello, my name is Kirioth, and today we are going to take a little look at the Christmas Battleforces for 2021. And here they are, we've got 6 of them this year. I think it was 6 last year, wasn't it? And of course, you can see clearly that they exist. Surely, only an idiot would suggest that they were not on their way. What a dummy. What an idiot would do that? We just don't know. It's so unlikely that anyone would be that stupid that luckily it never happened. We're going to start with Space Marines, of course, they're always first. So this box I actually quite like. This is quite a cool box. You've got 10 Intercessors, 10 Assault Intercessors, 5 Heavy Intercessors, 3 Blade Guard, 1 Captain and a Storm Speeder. Now I would suggest, my gut feeling for this is that if you were going to start playing Space Marines, this would be a really good box to start out with. Because it feels like you could expand out from this in pretty much any direction that you fancied. It's quite well rounded. There's a good mix of melee and range options depending on what you wanted to do. I think the only thing that I'm not a big fan of in terms of this particular battle force is the inclusion of the standard intercessors. Now, the only reason I say that is because I don't even have really a Space Marines force. I've got my old Strike Force Ultra, and I've got some Primaris stuff, which was gained from Dark Imperium and the occasional random model that I've picked up since because they've looked cool. But even then, I have got plenty of Intercessors. I don't feel like I need any more Intercessors because they've been around for so long and they were just the thing that you took for quite a while. I feel like anyone who's already got Space Marines is going to have a ton of them already, and so an extra 10 is maybe not necessarily what a lot of people would want. That being said, if you're starting out playing Space Marines, to be honest, the composition of this I quite like. It feels like a good starting point for a nicely well-rounded Space Marines force, so in that respect, I quite like it. Now, the contents of this thing come to about £200. I think it's 205, just about, which is pretty good. Depending on how much the box costs, you could be getting a good amount off retail, and if you go third party rather than buying direct from Games Workshop, obviously the discount will be even steeper than that. We know what availability is going to be like, so we just won't talk about it because we'll just get annoyed again. But yeah, I don't know. This looks like a good box to me. I like the composition of this box. I think it's quite fun. We just double check. Yeah. I just wanted to double check that we got all the things. So yeah, Captain, Blade Guard Veterans, 10 Intercessors, 10 Assault Intercessors, 5 Heavy Intercessors, and a Storm Speeder as well. I quite like it. It looks good. It looks like a good amount of stuff. The Sisters one I actually really like, but then again it's got an Exorcist and an Immolator in it, and those are 2 of my favourite tanks because they're mental. They're just ridiculous. Absolutely ludicrous vehicles, and I love them. So I'm a little bit biased in that respect. Plus they have put in one of, I think, the best looking units that the Sisters of Battle have in the form of the Celestians. So you've got 5 Celestians, you've got just a Sisters of Battle squad, you've got the Immolator, you've got the Exorcist, and you've got the Dog Martyr. And admittedly, I do not like the Dog Martyr at all. I really don't like that model. But everything else in this is pretty grand, and I do quite like the rest of it. I will say that just for the composition of this picture, of course you'll be able to build the Celestians however you like with the maces or with the spears. The fact that they've got the maces and the Dog Martyr has also got a giant mace is a nice touch. Not enough to salvage that particular model, but everything else in this is grand. And the Sisters of Battle is still now one of the best ranges Games Workshop has in terms of the design of their stuff. I think it's an absolutely standout range. They've done a ridiculous job reimagining everything from that and actually bringing it out in plastic. It's a fantastic looking army overall. So yeah, I like it, and it is super tempting primarily because of those tanks. Yeah, I just, but we're going to be sensible. Always sensible. You get the things you need for the project you're doing, unless you have that spare to splurge, and you really think that you're going to actually get through it and paint it and put it together and do something with it. Then being sensible is the best option. You got to keep your shelves healthy because that keeps your mind healthy, allegedly. Anyway, so this lot, unless I've managed to mess up a price, comes to 185 quid. So not quite as good value as the Space Marine one. but still pretty decent. And of course, they have varying prices, don't they? So it depends on how much the box is as to kind of the percentage saved. But yeah, I do like that. That's a good looking box. The AdMech one is quite fun. It feels like quite a fast box in some respects, because you've got the Iron Strider, the Iron Strider Ballistari. I think you can build both out of that kit, the Ballistari and the other one with the giant lance. You got the Taraxi, which is the flying lads with the kind of Da Vinci style wings. You got the Cerberus Hellhounds, if I remember right. Rust Stalkers in the back. And you've got Stalkers, and you've got the, what's his name again? The Dominar? No, not Dominar, the Tech Priest Manipulators, that's the lad. So, this feels like quite a fun box. Not for me. Not for me necessarily, but I can see the appeal. I can see the appeal of this. The only thing I would suggest, I would love to see the Iron Strider not be in there and be replaced with the Dune Stalker, the four-legged tank. I've completely forgotten the name of it. But that aside, I don't know. It looks kind of cool. So the total for this lot is £182, but that's still a cool-looking box. Death Guard. I'm afraid this one just does nothing for me. Okay, so yeah, if this looks good to you, then absolutely grand. This one I'm just not feeling. But it's just me. So we've got Plague Marines, we've got Death Shroud Terminators, we've got the Plague Burst Crawler, one of them, and we have 3 of the Myphitic Blight Haulers. The Plague Marines, we've got 7? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Wait, what am I missing? Am I missing is there a character in there that I'm missing? 7 Plague Marines. Oh, there's a Champion and Icon Bearer. Idiot. Yeah, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, that does make more sense. Just for a second there, I was like, wait, have I missed something here? I must have missed something. I also think I just completely miscounted because I said 8. Which, if it's 7 Plague Marines, a Champion and an Icon Bearer, that does not add up to 8. Well done, me. Dearie me, what an absolute farce. Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure there'll be those who are absolutely frothing at the gash for this one, but it's not awakening anything in me. That being said, though, value is pretty much the same as the Sisters of Battle one, so you're looking at about 185 quid's worth of stuff in here. And Death Shroud Terminators are cool. I'll give them that much. Now, the Necron one, I think they have just deliberately aimed it at me. I think that's what they've done here. They've included the Ophidian Destroyers, which I absolutely love, because they are basically Necron Wraiths. Not Canoptech Wraiths, no. Not Canoptech Wraiths. I'm talking Necron Wraiths. When they first had their Codex in 3rd edition, and they had Necron Wraiths that were like, top half was kind of like a Necron Warrior, but the bottom half was like the whippy tail. You couldn't get them to stand up in the base. They fell apart at the drop of a hat. Absolutely terrible models. I loved them because they looked brilliant. And then they came out with the Ophidian Destroyers, which are basically exactly the same thing, but with an extra set of arms. So they're throwing that in there. The Heavy Destroyer, which, again, I got that model the moment it came out because I remembered seeing the concept art for it and being absolutely blown away. And then the actual Destroyers and Heavy Destroyers came out, and they were fine, but they weren't that. And what I wanted was that. And now we have that. And they've put the flayed ones in here, which I was super excited about the redesign for. Because again, the flayed ones, the original metal flayed ones, were absolutely solid models. And then they redesigned them, and they look just crap. But then they remade them again, and made them better than they were in the first place. This is just a targeted attack on my self-control, and I'm not happy about it. I'll be honest. It's not. It's not cricket. It's not sporting. The Necron Warriors all look good. No complaints about those at all. We've got 2 of the Doomstalkers as well. Why have 1 when you can have 2? And they're throwing in the Psychomancer, which is, again, a really cool model. It's just a great model. There is nothing in this box that I don't like. In fact, I would suggest that what they've effectively done here is taken all of my favourite Necron units and put them in one box. So, frankly, I almost feel like I want to say I don't like it just to be spiteful and contrary, but I'm not going to, because I love it. I love it. How could I not? Look at the contents. It's all the things I like. God damn you. God damn you. All of you. That's 190 quid's worth of stuff in there. So, yeah. I mean, again, decent value. It depends on what the retail is for it, but yeah, it's pretty good. And finally, we have the Orcs. Now, the Orcs one is a little bit weird to me, in a way. Yeah. Okay, so I don't mind it. The Deathkiller Wartrike is decent, but it feels strange putting the Deathkiller Wartrike in a primarily infantry-based army, because it's just going to be out there unsupported by itself, which feels a little bit weird. So we've got two squads of boys. We've got the big mech shock attack gun. We've got some knobs. Got some Gretchen, which is nice to see, and the Dakar jet. So I don't know. It feels a little bit strange composition-wise, and I'm really, really surprised at the total lack of any Beast Snagger stuff in here. I really thought we'd see some Beast Snagger stuff, but no. It's. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I'm a bit lukewarm on this one. It just feels like a strange combination in a way. I think maybe if there was, yeah, I don't know. It's just not hitting me. It's just not hitting me right, this one. Then again, also there may be some like inbuilt bias as well, where my Orc army that I used to have was speed freaks, and so it like the idea of having the war boss that would just on nothing just felt just as weird. It just didn't do that. That wasn't what I did. So seeing the war boss out there on the Wartrike surrounded by infantry just feels off to me. It could well be that actually that's totally legitimate and that's what you should be doing. But it feels weird to me because I have that kind of inbuilt thing of, well, if he's on wheels, everything else needs to be. Which may be totally incorrect, and I'm sure probably is totally incorrect, but that's just my built-in kind of reaction to orky things, I guess. Now, I make the price for this to be about 180, maybe 185, maybe like 170. It's a bit difficult to tell because the Combat Patrol boys are in there by the look of things. After a bit of squinting and kind of going back and forth and checking the Games Workshop site, it looks like those are the boys from the Combat Patrol because they're not currently available as a separate kit. If you go and buy boys separately, it's the old kit, which makes it a little bit tricky to work out the cost. Just because we don't know how much those boys would be separately. If we have a look at the existing boys, they're £22.50, but I feel like if the Combat Patrol lads came out separately, they would cost more than that, so it's a little bit tricky, but if we use the price of the existing boys, then it's like 175 quid or so this box, which is the lowest value of all of them, but there's still a good amount of stuff in there. There you have it. Those are the 6 Warhammer 40,000 battle forces. We'll probably go over the Age of Sigmar ones tomorrow. There's a weird choice in one of those, which I kind of want to talk about a little bit, but yeah, I think there's some decent offerings this time round. The Necron one is horribly tempting. I believe Doomstalkers are pretty good at the moment as well, which might influence a few people. But yeah, the Necron one, I'd say in terms of temptingness for me, it's Necron's way at the top, then Sisters of Battle, and I'd say probably Space Marines after that, even though I'm not really doing the Space Marines thing. Then AdMech and the Orcs and Death Guard just aren't really doing it for me. But to be honest, I think overall there's some solid offerings. The question is, have any of them taken your fancy? Are there any that really stand out as being like especially good, just in terms of their composition, like something you could just take and start playing with and actually get decent results out of? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. As always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. And there is a affiliate link for Noble Knight Games in the US, which you can also use to support the channel. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.